Do you struggle with temptation? Are you ready to take that next step and overcome that? Does it lay heavy on your heart every single day and you start to dislike the person that you are? Well, I can tell you right now that I've been there, and there are so many people out there like you. So stick around after this intro and I'll get into 4 key steps in overcoming temptation. Roll the intro. Hey guys, Ryan Knott here from Acoustic Truth, and clearly you are here to take that next step in your life to overcoming temptation. Now, I know this is something that can lay heavy in your heart. If you're struggling with something, whether it's pornography, alcoholism, drug addiction, gambling, whatever it is, this isn't a one-size-fits-all. So there are a lot of different types of addictions and temptations that you can run into. So this is just a few steps that have helped me in my life and also helped some of my friends who have struggled with a lot of the same things, okay? So number 1, and I know it's going to sound strange, avoid temptful situations. Now, obviously you can't avoid all of them. Sometimes they just pop up, peer pressure, whatever it is. Sometimes they just show up. But I can tell you that, and you can probably understand this as well, if you truly look into the mirror, you're probably putting yourself into situations that can be harmful to you. So for example, say you struggle with pornography at nighttime, or say you struggle with alcoholism at nighttime when the wife goes to bed, or your husband goes to bed. It's just you in a room. You really don't have a whole lot to do, right? The mind starts wandering. You start getting tempted. Well, what I can tell you is do something that can take your mind off of it. If you find joy in music, pick up a hobby or go for a walk, listen to music. Music is very healing in general. It's something that I do on a regular basis. I love walking. So you obviously can't be tempted if you're walking, unless your temptation is walking. If that's the case, I apologize. Try something else. But realistically, music, walking, put a movie on, play chess online, whatever it is, get your mind away from it. Now, you don't want to do complete avoidance, right? You can't live your whole life with just avoiding something. There has to be a change of heart. So that's where these other steps kind of come into play. So avoid the situation as best as possible by doing something that can distract you. Number 2, find an accountability partner. So what does that mean? Find someone that struggles with the same addiction as you or temptation or something similar, and ask them to hold you accountable. And in return, you hold them accountable. You have to have someone holding you accountable other than just yourself. And it's okay to ask for help. So find a close friend, find a pastor. It can be your spouse. I suggest or recommend that it's not your spouse because you might not feel comfortable with telling them what your struggle is. But eventually you can and you should, so that it is, already out there. So find an accountability partner. Have them text you every single day, words of encouragement, motivation, whatever it is. Hey, I'm just checking in on you. How are we doing today? Did you overcome it? Yes, I did. Things are great. Awesome. I'll text you tomorrow to make sure that you're still good. Do that, okay? And do it regularly, and you won't fail that. I promise you right now. Number 3, and this is probably the most important part of this, in my opinion, is adding this to your prayer life, okay? So yes, you can rely on friends, you can rely on yourself, you can rely on spouses, but number 1, you have to be able to rely on God to help you overcome this. Now, the first part of this is telling yourself that in your heart, you don't want this. So adding it to your prayer life daily, the repetition of it. God, you know that I don't want this. Help me overcome it. I can tell you our God can do great things. He can do all things, right? He can heal you. You absolutely need him in order to overcome these addictions, to overcome these temptations. You cannot do it alone. So number 1 is God. So if you continue to repeat this every single day, you're going to embed it in your head, right? And it's also distracting you from doing other things, right? When you're adding prayer to your life. So that can be another thing that you add besides a walk. So make sure that you're praying about it constantly, and you will have a change of heart, but you have to ask God to help you, okay? You got to put your trust in him. And then at the same time, you absolutely have to make the effort. like I said, you're here right now, so you want to you're bringing that effort, but it has to stay consistent and there has to be some longevity to it. Okay, so add it to your prayer life. And number 4 is do the opposite. Right? Now, I know that's another one. It's kind of similar to number 1, avoiding temptations, but it is slightly different. So make sure that whatever is in your head that you're ready to do. So say it's alcoholism or gambling, right? So we'll do gambling, for example. You want to go to the casino. Do the opposite, right? Instead of gambling, spending your money, buy something, right? Do something more valuable with your money. Give it to a homeless person if you're just going to throw it away, honestly. And I'm not trying to hit on anyone that gambles or, try to make you feel bad about that. That's something that I've done too. And I've stopped doing that as well. But do the opposite. Find something else to do with your money specifically. If you want beer or whatever, turn to something else, right? Something else that can make you feel good. Now, that can be food. It can be, again, going for a walk, driving somewhere, anything along those lines you can do. So avoiding it. And you need to understand in your heart that it's the enemy trying to convince you to do something. So if you think about it, you're going to do the opposite. So what do you do as a child, right? First thing your mom and dad say is, hey, stop singing. You're being loud. Well, what's the first thing you want to do, right? You want to sing. You want to sing. Our bodies just kind of naturally do that, right? I still do it in my marriage. My wife hates it when I do that stuff. And I don't try to. It's just my mind naturally does it again when someone tells me to stop. So that's one thing I'm working on. But do the opposite, the complete opposite, right? So if you're struggling with pornography, right? The Bible tells us we don't want to, we shouldn't be sinning. We shouldn't be of the flesh, right? Well, you can go to the Bible, do the opposite of that, and read about it. Read what Paul has to say. Read what the Psalms have to say. What does Jesus have to say? Read the Gospels. All of that stuff is key, and it can get you over that hump. So those are 4 simple steps. There's a lot of different things that you can do, but what I can tell you on our page, if you need help with any of this stuff, overcoming temptation, feel free to leave it in the comment section, and we'll try to get back to you as soon as we can. And also hit that subscribe button so we can do more of these videos. It does cost a little bit of money to do this. So the more we're able to do, the better. And the more subscribers we have, the easier it is for us to continue to make these. So we're going to be praying for you. We know you can do it. You got to have the willpower. You got to be strong. And I can tell you, when you fall down, get right back up off that, get off the ground, jump right back on the horse and do it again. Keep a calendar, right? If you've done 5 days in a row, mark it X, 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 done, whatever. If you struggle and you fail, which you will fail, by the way, you will, right? Because no one is perfect. Get back up and start over again. You can do it. You have the willpower, and you have all of us supporting you. And number 1, you have God. And with God, all things are possible. Have a wonderful rest of the day. God bless, and we'll talk to you next on the next lesson. We'll let you know what's coming. See ya.